Hello everyone, this is Sheba Joy. Um, Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. Actually, my voice is kind of like I've got some cold and cough since it's actually the first, not the first, but the 31st of December. Um, and uh, and so I just waited for a long time to um, wait. I was not able to speak because of even now I have this sore throat kind of thing and cold and all that. But anyways, I do want to apologize for the month and a half times of um, not being able to speak on my YouTube channel or give a message or do anything on that. I really apologize. No excuses whatsoever. But the thing is, I was extremely busy. And this never happened in all the 10 years. So that's why this kind of uh, a thing was like I was so engrossed in all these things. What happened was from actually, we should say, I should say, like um, from the month of June, was it June or July, I think, or even like May. I'm not sure yet, but our first, and see, I was never involved in any church. Like we visited many churches. I wanted to be, part of that church and all that, but I said, like I said before, that things were being very difficult for us, not because of the church or the pastors or the congregation or anyone, but just this woman's attacks, directly or indirectly, and through witchcraft or through manipulation and all that. So we were not able to be rooted in that church. But however, finally, I think God's mercy was on us, because me and my daughter wanted to, be rooted in a church and give our time, treasure, and talents. But unfortunately, we were able to give, like, but fortunately, I mean, we were able to give treasures anywhere, but time and talents was something that we were not able to do in all these 10 years. And it's a long time, isn't it? Yeah. So and God saw that desire in our hearts this time, and He really, like, supernaturally placed us in Methodist Church. And that's actually my mother's church and my church too. Because I got baptized there, and I have my full membership there. I even got married there and all that. Um, so it's basically even my grandmother's church, and all my aunts and uncles also went to that church. They grew up in that church, in that Sunday school. I went to that Sunday school and all that. So finally, we were rooted there. So I think from June, the first event that happened in Methodist Church was we went for, and I'm going to give you some events which actually I'm kind of like thrilled and happy to talk about, only because, in 10 years we could not do any of these things. The devil was like literally on our chest not to do any of these things, didn't allow any of these things, though 100% was there in, mind was there in participating and doing whatever we could, but it didn't happen. So but here now in 2025, it just, God's mercy and grace, enabled us to go through these events and enjoy the events and give our full participation and things like that. So the first event was the church retreat that happened in Dream Valley uh, in the month of June. I think about 500 people went. Three buses were no, actually, about 1,000 people went. Three buses, I'm not sure, I think between 500 and 1,000, because there were a lot of people. And three buses were arranged, and most of them also went in their cars and all that. We went to Dream Valley Resort. It was a beautiful time, and that really lifted our spirits, because when we went there, it was, a session full of like God's word and games, and and I should tell you about the the hall that they booked for these things was really good. It was like a five-star hotel, and the food was so good that I haven't ever tasted in any of the revival meetings so far. Really, I mean, we did go to many revival meetings, many churches that hosted and all that, but the food here was extremely good. It was, and then of course they took like 500 rupees from each of us, but giving the facilities and the food and the travel and all that was like, they must have spent 4 or 5 times more than that. And I'm sure they did, but anyway, the food was so good. It was like a five-star hotel. The chefs were, serving the food, and it was an AC hall, and everything was so good. We had like the food was like, we had shrimp, we had fish, we had um, two kinds of biryanis, and actually three kinds of biryanis: one mutton, one fish, and then chicken. So it was really good. And then we had veg and non-veg food items also. Plus we had two kinds of soup. So everything was just so good. I mean, it felt as if we went to a vacation. It really felt going in a bus, getting down. Oh, actually, when we got down in the bus, we were given such a beautiful treatment. Like we had, um, they they served us the cool drinks, which was like fruit punch. And as soon as we got down at the bus, and after we had that, we walked into it and we had high tea, which was like tea, coffee, and some snacks. And then we had all this like exquisite lunch. There were so many dishes. The people who were the waiters who were serving were like master waiter, I mean master chefs or waiters or something. They were all in uniform, very clean, very very tidy. And the food they gave was, oh my god, mind blowing. It was really good. I didn't know what to eat, and I ended up eating a lot of fish because that's my favorite food. And people kind of teased me saying that, did you come here only for Apollo fish? And I'm like, I mean, wherever I see this, I get more attracted to that than the biryanis. And of course, my favorite food again is biryani. So I ended up eating biryani again. So, and of course, the sweets and ice creams were there. I mean, for 500 rupees, I think it was just mind blowing. And what they did was extremely good, extremely like gave us out of this world experience. So we started off in 2025 with a very good note of having people go like a vacation in the mid of the year. And then there was a lot of and then once we got down, we had those drinks like fruit punch and juice and all that stuff. And then we went inside and had high tea. Then the sessions went on beautifully with praise and worship, and they invited a speaker. He gave really good thing, and then also he made us do some games and all that, which we all enjoyed. um, After that, we were let out to explore this dream valley. So it was really good, but we didn't have any time to do the games because I think the sessions went on a little more than expected. So we didn't have games, but they let us out to explore, have swim, and take a swim in the waters, in the pools and all that stuff. So it was really good. And after that we came back again. From there, there were no sessions, but we had high tea, which is like tea and pakodas and sandwiches and fritters and all that was there. So it was really really good. And also coffee, and those who didn't want, like they had like lemon tea. So everything was extremely good. I mean, that was the first time I think I had a five-star hotel experience in that place. And the trees and everything was so fresh to breathe. There was so much of fresh air there that we all got into the buses happy and very tired, came back. Then again the next day and half of this year actually went into being with us in the church, and I thought it was really nice and cool, and we really missed this kind of thing for many years. So after that we had 3 days of revival, and uh, oh, then no, actually after that we started having choir practice, and that started early in, like, I think in July. And so we started having those things in July, and go every, like, week, Tuesdays and the Sundays. So we were kind of like very busy, and in between all that we had then revival meetings, and it was for 3 days. And again, for the very first time in 10 years, the church, and this time there were new pastors, and then so everything was in great order, and everything was in very good way of doing things. The way it should have been done all the time was done now. So for the first time in 10 years, so these revival meetings, we had great food again. So much of biryani, and every day. I mean, the revival meeting went on for 3 days. The church was packed. People from other churches also came, and so we had this thing. But also, because we were in choir, we also sang for the 3 days, and and it was very cold. But how God protected each of us is our voices did not go down, did not give up, or we did not have any kind of like a cold or coughs at that time. And then we had Thanksgiving. Yeah, we had Thanksgiving sale in church, and then that was another big hit, because there was right people at the right time to make the right decisions, and right pastors, right time, right decisions were made, and the outcome also was very right. So we had a great sale. They made a lot of money and then gave it to the pastors. Even like Sophia and I, for the first time we plugged in, and we sold, for some food items. Most of them Sophia made it. She made chaat, and chaat meaning, with potatoes and uh, lots of chutneys, and other, what do you call, the other side, entree, yeah, the other side dishes that she made. And also together we made some sweet and all that, made with ghee and all. We sold that. So everything was so superbly done, and we enjoyed doing that. So that was done. And then, as it is, the choir practice also was going on. Then after that we had actually about like 10 dinners in church, and it felt like we were in church the all throughout the second half of the 2025. Then after that we had, um, yeah, we had some meet speakers from other things come and talk about like finances and things like that. It was a free session, so a lot of people again came for that. It was really good because it's a free session. A lot of people came, and we had this speaker who told us about the finances and things like that. And again, we had free lunch in church after that session. So everything was so well planned, was so well authenticated, and then so well, like, it was brought out really well. Again, because I would say, because of the new authority, they were good. Finally, what happened was, then after that we um, then yeah, so those financial sessions got over, and then we had uh, lot of things actually. Oh yeah, and then we started having practices for Christmas. And then, and since I'm also in the Sunday school class and things like that, so a lot of Sunday school activities were going on, and a lot of birthdays. I don't know how, but a lot of like birthdays were going on. And then again, um, um, then oh yeah, then actually I'm so sorry. The retreat was not in June, July. It was in on October 2nd. So, but June and July, we started having these choir practices and all that. So, October 2nd, and then we had these, preparation for Christmas and things like that from October. So a lot of things were moving in the church, and Sunday school was preparing for the dramas and things, and I was also in the drama for as a uh, uh, Gabriel Angel, and and then Sophia was a scribe. So it was very beautiful, like going on the weekdays for practice and then again having free dinners there. It was just like we never thought, those things were going to happen. Sometimes the church gave, sometimes the people just came, brought, if it was their birthdays during that week, and so they hosted dinners and things like that. So it was very, very good. It was not like, and most of the burden, because we were going from very far, and church is also quite far from our place, and we traveled in the autos in those months, and then it was very cold because the auto has, it's open on all the three sides, and it's very cold. And this year the weather was really bad. It's very, very cold. Even today it's very cold. So started this cold weather started from the month of, I think, uh, September, and then by October, November, it just kind of like we were like in the freezing zones here in India, in Hyderabad. So then after that, we started preparing for that, and then we had, for the first time in 10 years, the church uh, hosted dinner for the senior citizens. They were not called any time before, they were not given any gifts. But this time they called all of them, all the senior citizens, they honored them, they gave them Christmas gifts. And also there was a Christmas drama wherein again we did the drama for them, and they all liked it. And it was a beautiful, beautiful, again, big dinner, for all of them, with a lot of like soups and biryanis and sweet and everything. It was just like hosted in a very big way. It was done in a very extravagant way, and they and the pastors and the church, really honored them, because again, why new authority? And a lot of it I'm not saying because I'm not supposed to say that. Let's only talk about the good things. Before, it never happened in the 10 years, and now it's happening. So it's again, may the Lord bless the pastors who are there now. I feel that they have been unctioned and brought into the church to bring revival and change in the church, only to glorify God. All this while man and evil things were taking place, and a lot of like nonsense was going on. There was money laundering and lot of other things. Even the bishop and everyone also got changed and all that. But in any case, uh, God brought that change, I would say, because he doesn't want his bride to suffer. And who's the bride? The church of God, right? The church is the bride of Christ. So, in a normal sense, if you see, if someone says anything to the wife, the husband gets very angry, right? Any normal husband would get very angry when their wives are being treated badly or said something bad, right? So it's also the same thing with God. God uh, is the husband of the church. The church is the bride of God. So, someone does anything against the church, God will not keep quiet, folks. Right? He will not. So, he had to bring the change for the real things to happen, the right things to happen, which didn't happen for many years in that Methodist church. Now it happened because God did not like that. God did not like, he wanted the church to function as a church, not like a business or not like a stealing place or anything like that. But he wanted the church to function like a church, to be not just a social place, not a social place, but to be a spiritual place, and not just and also for the relationships to grow, right? To grow in the Lord, admonish and then check one another, correct one another in godly love and things like that. So he really made the right things to happen at this time, with the right authority come in there and take over. So that was what was impacting the church at this time. And we went in, and also we plugged in. Otherwise it was almost very dry. We never wanted to go to Methodist church because nothing ever happened there. We just didn't see anything at all. And then the important and then yeah, and then in October again my birthday was there. So the pastors called all the people who celebrated their birthdays and wedding anniversaries in the front and gave us bouquets and bookmarks, and it was just very nice. And after that, yeah, so Christmas programs were happening. We brought the senior. Then when the senior citizens honoring and everything was over, it was the WSCS, Women's Society of Christian Services. They did the program. And again, I was Sophia and I. We both were part of the drama, and then they gave us gifts on that day, and then we had like really beautiful gifts. This time it was not just one cup or one spoon or one small plate and something like that. It was a big what do you call these um, it was like a porcelain set. So it was like that big. So those kind of gifts we all got. Then we had again, as usual, a great dinner there with all the exquisite and very good uh, dinners, and all hosted by the pastors church. So it was really good. After that, again, we had another WCS, which was for the district, which means that every Methodist church in the Twin Cities, in Hyderabad, Secunderabad, or in the neighboring cities of, they all came together and did one big program. Together they came and did one big program, and the bishop came for that. So it was really nice. A lot of people came together from different churches, like and there was praise and worship. There was beautiful message. Actually, there was very good message by the bishop, and he made people. He made, and it was only for women. Women hosted that, and it was only for women, and women just laughed and laughed. And then the Angel TV, that person, he came and took all the videos and everything. It's there in the Angel TV, so that program is there uh, on the network. And then and again, as usual, gifts were given to all the women again. So beautiful gifts were given to the pastors also, their wives, and the bishop, and the assistant pastor, the associate pastors. A lot of gifts were given this time. Nothing went into the pockets of any committee members, but everything was out there for the people. And then again, after those gifts and all that, we had again beautiful dinner. I mean, exquisite again. Many dishes were done. It was really cold, but they put all the tents and everything in the church premises, and we had that. Um, so after that, oh yeah, after that we had again Sunday school Sunday program, a Christmas program. Again, Sophia and I did the thing, and again we had dinner there. So it was like so busy the entire 4 5 months before the Christmas. It was like too much. It was like it was a lot. But we enjoyed. It was like every day we went to every day we went to church. It was like every day we went, and of course the Sundays we had special songs by the choir. So then we had to do another round of what do you call this, practice and all that, and then sing in the morning at 7 o'clock. So it was everything played out so well by the hand of God. Really, I would say it was just the Spirit of God that went into the church to make everything so perfect and nice and good. And so like that, a lot of program. One was Sunday school program. One was what was another one? Also, there was two programs for Sunday school. So so they were like that. And then again, and oh yeah, and then again, the choir. I mean, we had Carol Sunday on the 18th of December. Before, sorry, on the 21st of December, and it was like, and before the choir Christmas, like Carol Sunday, We had another dinner hosted by a music director. He said that, just appreciation dinner. So we had that. And then we went for Christmas carols on Sunday 21st. And we were all dressed in pink, and the bishop really appreciated all of us. He said we look like angels. Angels are dressed in white, but angels on earth are dressed in pink, he said. So he appreciated. And of course, and we sang well, I think. But anyway, that was over, and we had again an extravagant dinner. It was really planned out very well, folks, really. And then we had that dinner after that again, 21st Sunday, and then the Christmas. So it was that. I think I'm also missing two, three programs in between because um, what is that? Anyway, I don't have my diary in front of me to look at all those things. But every day there was just a lot of programs in the church, and we were like in the church Monday, except I think Monday, Tuesday, except Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday we were there. Then Sunday again for church. So it was like that. But later, after the Christmas again, then there was New Year again. And then we again sang for New Year. So yeah, so things were very good this time in the church. And I'm so blessed. Sophia and I are so blessed to be part uh, of that time, that God has given us to show forth our talents and give our time to God and things like that. Um, so grateful, so grateful, yeah. And I think churches should function like that. Most of the churches do. I appreciate that, but some churches which are under, and I don't want to go into all this politics and all that, but it's not in India. If there's a church which is ruled by one pastor or one man, it's there's not a lot of commotion or corruption and all that. But if it has an organization, then there's a lot of corruption and things like that. So the mainline churches are all kind of like this. But this time, really, God's hand was on that church. God's hand was really on Methodist, Centenary Methodist Church, English Church in Hyderabad. So we enjoyed our time, and believe me, not one of us felt sick, though it was so cold. And most of them came in cars, and some of them even came on the bikes. They traveled on bikes, they came in the cars, they came, and we traveled, halfway on the this autos and things like that. And halfway we walked also sometimes because we couldn't get the autos. It was very, very cold, very cold. But then what I observed was no one was down with cold and fever. Not one person. Not one person. Oh, again, during carols, also after the carols, during choir practices, after that, we had very good snack. Sandwiches, chicken sandwiches, and tea, and samosas, not samosas, chicken puffs that were really made well, big ones, that I've not seen in the market at all. Maybe they got it like made well. But so we had very good snacks also at that time, and fellowship and things like that. But however, I would say that, so blessed to be part of that. But also, it was not just, see, the devil also tries to act a lot, right? And we did, and it didn't go smooth. But Sophia and I, like both of us, decided that we're not going to allow this Satan, this evil thing, to come in between, our time spending there, because we had some confrontation with others. We had, like, others were feeling very jealous about us being plugged in, and they were not giving out good vibes. They were also verbally very bad. One or two people, verbally also, they kind of like fought with me. In a sense, they wanted to fight, but I made it seem like a conversation. I took it like a conversation, and I told them, I calmed them down. So the devil really wanted to spoil us and say, this is not right. Let's sit back. There's no need of going and all that. But I said, no, no, no. We cannot give the devil this thing, because see, in churches also demons are there, right? In churches are demons are there. Why? Because they like to disturb the witch, they like to disturb the peace. And if you see any videos of the witches or ex witches, not witches but ex witches on the YouTube, you'll find that they go to churches to disturb the peace and harmony of the pastors, of the congregation, of the lay leaders, of the committee members and all that. So devil enters them, right? So it was also happening like that to me. And they were being jealous. Oh yeah, in between I forgot this. There was also one program that the pastors decided to give some of the church funds to the hostel, which was really being in very bad shape, Stanley School Hostel. And they said whoever can come, we will all go and bless the children there. So I went, and some of the church people also went. It was my school, it was my school, so how can I not go? And I felt really bad at the state of the school, and the hostel. Thousands of people used to be there. Now it's only like about 50, and everything was just so bad. But uh, the program was there, and it was just, so a lot of programs, these things. However, so there was some commotion also, with us. The devil didn't like us to give our time and talents there, uh, and what happened was, like, just someone just used to argue for no reason. For no reason they used to come and argue with me. For no reason they would feel jealous. And it so happened that even in choir, see, according to heights they were giving us the places. But even though uh, 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 but what happened, they put me on the corner and tall people were put in the center. So things like that. Then I said, I don't care if people see me or not from that view, or I'm seen or not, but I am. And both of us, just Sophia and me, and most of the videos we were cut also. So it was like a very intentional thing that happened. But I really don't care. Why? Because see, we went there to give our time, folks, to God. And that was so much on my mind. All these years we couldn't, The devil just stopped and stopped, and we went from church to church, and some churches didn't accept. It was only one person singing on the thing, and there were not others who were singing, or the other churches were just their children singing, and not they were not taking us. Or it was some church who had like only the past few many years of members singing, and they were not recruiting others to sing. So everything was just not so favorable to us. I'm not criticizing those things, but it's how it is there, in their way of doing things, and they did it. But for us, we never got a chance. But in the places we got a chance also, what happened was there was a lot of corruption. I mean, sorry, commotion. With our participation there. So I was like, what is this, Lord? How is it that we can't, when we have so much of heart and mind to serve the Lord, how can this, not go? How can we not serve in your church, in your place? And then God opened up the doors for us to serve here. So what I'm saying is, even though we tried that, even though we started serving, there were a lot of like I said before, gossips happening about me, jealousies just being cropped for no reason, arguments just started for no reason, and not showing any kind of favor, leave alone favor, but even doing the right things by me or Sophia and all that. So I just said, forget this. This is all such distractions and all that. We give glory to God. We have come to do that. We're not come to show ourselves on the videos, on the cameras, or in front of the people, or to the authority. No, no. We have come, and God will exalt us. We humble before God. God knows how to exalt. So we did that, and we maintained our peace. Of course, there were times in some things, like I really lost my peace, because I was feeling so uh, struck and so bad about how people behaved. Not all of them, but two or three people, how they behaved, how they formed groups, and there was groupism and all that for no reason, actually, for no reason. And so I was like, what is this? And one day, I was sharing this in one of the people there, and then, they told me, and they saw that, they said, you don't have to feel bad about anything. The only reason this is happening is because the devil is trying to stop you from getting into the church, and then, giving your services and all that. But above all, most importantly, she said that, was very important thing she said. Now I'm forgetting what she said. She said, when I remember, I'll tell you this. But I was so encouraged with that. I was so encouraged. Uh, and oh yeah, she said, Sheba, you are not coming here for anyone. As I've known you for many years, she said, you don't care if people they like you, they don't like you, but you do things your way that are pleasing to God. So remember that, I know about you like this. So many people also know about you like this. So just keep going, and then keep doing what the Lord wants you to do. And that really struck me, and I said, this is so true. I must first uh, um, uh, be I must first, what do you call that? I must first please my God. I must first please my Lord, and then things will be different. I don't have to like worry about all those things. Even though I don't, it was like irritating me a lot, irritating me a little bit, because how can they just talk as they want to talk when it's not the truth? And it's just that the demons were just flaring up, and but uh, but eventually, as these things, and also we had a dress code, so they didn't want to give us our dresses. Oh yeah, and also all the pink saris and the dresses were given by church. Not one rupee was taken from us, so it was very beautiful. Everything was going so right. And I was not given those saris for me, and this time Sophia also wore a sari and was not given. And after like much this thing, then that woman in the office who had the sari, she was not going to give it. After a week we got it. And so there was lot of unjust things that were happening also with us. But but most importantly, you know uh, all glory to God, because He made things happen uh, for His glory. He made us participate and not lose heart over those things. And then she also said, Sheba, every church has politics. And she also told me, because you don't go out and work, you don't know the world. The world is so wicked. You are a baby in this. So now when you're seeing that, they're behaving like this, talking like this, being rude to you like this, saying unjust things like that, you're just getting put out. But if you go out in this world and see, um, it is a very it would have been very easy for you to understand that they are but people, whether in church or outside. They don't have God, they don't have God. That's so true what she said. They don't have God, they don't have God. That's it. So they will behave like any other people outside outside the church, right? So just because they come to church doesn't mean they're saints. But if they're behaving the way the heathens are behaving, then they're as good as them and are equal to them. So but overall, but anyway, kicking all these things aside, pushing through these things, these things, going forward to just serve the Lord, became a big hit and success in our lives. At the end of the first, which is 2026, I was so happy, because and also Sophia, because we did it. We did it. And then I think on 31st night again we went for watch night service. That was when, after every program, everything, that was when I got affected with cold. And it was we sat in the open air and it was very cold. So I got the cold and cough and all that for a week. for almost like 10 days, I should say, because still my voice is like this. And but even Sophia is also under the weather. She's also not feeling too well. But anyway, all glory to God, because He made this happen, and I think, I'm sure that He's very happy with us, because God says you must um, be planted in the house of God. You must serve, you must give your talents, show your talents, and then present your talents, and then give your tithes, treasures, right? So it's so important, so important. And but we loved every bit of it. And then see, and the other thing is, people didn't have to worry about going home and cooking, because whenever we were there for long hours, we were given, we were provided with food, which rarely happens, in Indian churches. But I mean, so many is a rare thing. Uh, but so that was done, and so all glory to God. I'm so happy. So that's why, I mean, no excuse, but we were so busy with all these things, really wanted to serve, so there was no time. I really wanted to talk about Christmas and all that, but I thought all this experiences is my story for Christmas, and all this is my story and message for Christmas, though it passed by. But again, see, Jesus was born. We celebrate Christmas in December. Jesus was born. But then that just doesn't stop, right? Now we're in the time of Jesus growing up, Jesus doing signs and wonders and miracles, right? So we are in that time period now. So every day, uh, yes, Christmas passed, but now we're living with the Lord on the earth. I felt that, we're living with Jesus on the earth now. This is that time. So, uh, so God has His way of doing signs, wonders, and miracles, and He knows how to keep the just as just, and He knows how to uh, repay the wicked with His vengeance. So that is going to happen. We don't have to worry about anything. And God, in all His mercy, um, okay, I was thinking my phone battery was going. God, in all His mercy, is there to walk with us. Jesus, in all His mercy, is there to walk beside us, walk with us, walk through us, and show us His power. Show us His glory, show us His. And we're the remnant of the church. And uh, this time on the earth, I never felt like this before. After Christmas, I just thought it's just any other day, but just this new revelation that yes, Jesus was born, and now He is there on this earth with us. Now He's growing up. Now it's like, He is with us. So this one day can see, Christmas was on 25th of December, and now what is today? It's January 9th. So that means I think 30, 31. 6 days there and 9 days, which are like 15 days. So he's still a 15-day-old baby. No, I'm not saying like that. What I'm saying is, he might be 15 years, he might be 15 months, he might be 15 days. I'm not talking about his timeline, age, or on this earth. But right now, the spiritual side of it is what I'm talking about. We celebrated Jesus' birth. That means Jesus has come on this earth and is still living with us now. So how you're going to take it, I don't know. But in spirituality, I felt that in spiritual way that He is there on this earth now, and we're walking with Him, and He's walking with us. He's there beside us. He's talking to us. He's going with us forward. So this is the time for that, and so God is very powerful, very, very powerful. And also in the church there was a time of testimonies. I gave a beautiful testimony, you know not going into the details of our struggles and the wrong things that these people who are still doing it and living and still doing it, the day will come, that God's judgment and wrath and vengeance will come on them. I'm not going into all those things, a very plain thing, but very the prophetic thing. I gave a big testimony with us, like going every day from this place to our home, and actually we used to from church. By the time we came home, it was 11, because our practices ended at like maybe 9:30, and then by the time we had snacks and we moved out and got into an auto to come home, it was 11. So and one day, actually, I'll tell you this, there were men who followed us, and when we came to our place in Attapur, they tracked us down and they followed us. So I saw that, and immediately I asked the auto fellow to take another place. And then what they did was, if there were some eve teasers on the road, they would have just gone by, but they were waiting for us. Even before we entered our lane, they were waiting for us in that lane. Even though we took a different route and went into another lane, they should have followed us that way. But they knew that we lived in this place, so they came and stayed in this lane. It was very scary, but we came through that other lane and I saw them there. So immediately I called the police also. I informed them that these people are waiting. Then when I saw them, we didn't want to come to our house. Then we went back. There were people at 11 working in one shop. So I told those guys to just come with us in the auto, so that these guys, and they were two big goons, henchmen, were waiting on the bikes, and there was an ambassador car waiting in our lane. So I didn't. So I called those guys from the other shop and I said, come with us. There's some people who are following, and and so they came, and then so they came in our auto. They sat at the driver's seat, two of them. So the driver was one, three guys, and we two. They came and dropped us, and safely we came into the house, and they saw. And in the meantime, I called the police also. So I don't know how much the police were able to do anything there, but these guys were like angels helping us. So I gave that testimony in the church. When we do God's work, God does our work. That is to protect us, to walk with us, and to send His angels, as He said in Psalm 91, right? So that was the biggest testimony I shared there, and uh, and I and there are a lot of testimonies, but I said the most recent one was that. So this kind of like shook me for a bit, because in the night also I heard these bikes going in front of our house for 2 3 days. But then God, His name is Jehovah Cherub. Also, anything that is not right in His will, in His eyes, He will cut them off. The cherub means sword, so not the sword. And so that happened. So every day, so that is what is the message of Christmas, not just the birth of Jesus, but the birth of the miracle signs and wonders through His life, right, for us. Why? Because we believe in a God who is a supernatural God, a mighty God, uh, Emmanuel, God with us, right? So when He came on the earth, He became Emmanuel, meaning God with us. So what more can we ask? What more can we ask? We have leaders, politicians dying, even though they have their guardmen, gunmen, and everyone. But when we have God on our side, there's nothing that will go wrong, right? Because He is there to protect. And He said He will do that. He will give His angels charge over us. He's our strength and refuge. In times of trouble, He said so. That is the God we serve. And and a lot of pastors give out their um, um, year of great things, year of God's strength, and year of uh, and also what is that, year of um, good things, and also I have to see this because I forgot actually. um, they also said like year of alignment and settlement and year of bursting forth. So these great men, pastors and all of them, they've given these things for us. So when God speaks to them, they give out these things for us, right? And also He puts things in our hearts. So this is what is my message for also Christmas and the New Year, and maybe actually be all the time in the assurance of knowing that our God is always with us, and He will make things work according to His will, not our will. And we just have to burst forth. We just have to live in the settlement of what God has already planned for us, and also we just have to. Uh, this is the year of also separating the chaff, right? So this is also the year of that. That means it's going to see the remnant of the church is going to separate the good and the bad too. And this is the year where people will see great signs and great miracles actually physically taking place on this earth. So it's a great thing. And then so I just wish you all again a Merry Christmas of 2025, and a happy and a blessed New Year 2026. And yeah, and please pray for us. If just it's me and my daughter living in this house, still we're facing danger, but it's not the danger because God is with us. And please pray for us. We're also praying for you all. And may the Lord really bless us, in this new year and take us forward with His hand and in His steps rightly to do His will and glorify Him. Thank you all for listening, and thank you all for listening.